Hi there, I'm James Osborne, the co-founder of the Recruitment Network, and this is the TRN Podcast. Every week, we unpack the strategies, the technologies, the processes and mindsets fueling today's top-performing recruitment agencies. We take a look behind the scenes of some great recruitment businesses. We listen to the real-life stories of those who have built those businesses, and we learn from some of the industry's greatest thought leaders to help you become both future fit and future relevant. So let's begin with this next episode of the TRM Podcast. Firstly, David, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
No, fantastic. Thanks for joining us. I know you're over in Barcelona today, so thank you for this. We're probably right in the middle of your lunchtime, so appreciate you doing that. David, just I did touch on it, so obviously let's just get a quick sort of history of the David story. 25 years at M&A, a bit before that as well. What was your story from coming into recruitment, starting off at Montreal, and then now to where you are at CEO?
Okay, I'll try and be brief. That's 25 years. First, like many people, I fell, into recruitment. 25 years ago, there was no studies to study recruitment. And I fell into recruitment in a company based in London that were looking to grow their presence on the French market. So I was doing a lot of sales. I was the only French person in the room, trying to conquer market shares. I was placing at the time SAP contractors, and I was doing okay, pretty well. And AMA was a competitor, and the person in charge of the international development of AMA called me and said, "I'd like you to join." And he tried for a few months, and I think it took me to realize that the company I was working in didn't have a serious international project. So I thought I might as well join them and do that, because AMA seems much more committed to developing their business internationally. So I started there, same role, just a bit more senior. So sales consultants, placing subcontractors into the French market. At the time, freelancing was not very popular in France, so the job was more about convincing clients that contractors were not thieves and that they could actually do a job and help them. There was a big shortage of skills on SAP, so there was a massive opportunity, and we did really well. And I think I just climbed the ranks, organically by first, I think, having an interest in others. So I was trusted to become a team leader and help people who were joining the team. Then we structured the business by geographies, and I became the leader of France for MA. And then I had the chance to have a fantastic team, and we made France the largest country for revenue for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And our CFO came to me and said, can you do it in other countries? And naively, I said yes, or ambitiously, I don't know. But I still showed him my business plan for the next year in France. And he said, okay, we're going to call you Director Southern Europe, but stick to France. It's better. Italians don't pay, and margins are really low in Spain. So it was just honorific, really. And then I became the sales director of the company, a position I held for many years before I was trusted to become the CEO of the company 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
Just talk to me through your concepts and thinking around globalization of a recruitment company. I could use that. Sounds a bit grandiose as a title, but why is it so important for a business like yours to have a global footprint? Is it a de-risking strategy? Is it a valuation strategy? Why is the global footprint so important?
Well, I think it all started in the late 90s, before I joined the company. MA had established itself as one of the pioneers and leader in SAP staffing in the UK, but UK only. And at the time, so I believe probably 98, I think that the sales director of the business felt that the market in the UK was really saturating, that margin were really low. And he thought, okay, we have a unique product. We are good recruiters on SAP. We know what we're talking about. Let's do it elsewhere. And so the company started targeting European markets. I remember when I joined, we were not talking countries. My British colleagues were talking about the continent. Yeah, we're going to go and conquer the continent. And that was a big turn in the history of the company, because within the space of 2 years, Europe was doing more than the UK. And I remember my colleagues doing the UK market were asking me, can I come and join you and do France or to Germany or whatever that was. So that was, I think in our case, the story is that there was saturation on SAP in the UK. We went for bigger margin in Europe, and that's how it all started. And over the years, it has become massive in the sense that our export represent more than 80% of the revenue of the company. And to go back to your question, James, I think that yeah, in terms of risk mitigation, this is really good, because we could have, we had last year Germany going very quiet for not only economical reasons but also political. And it was good to know that we were growing in Canada or growing in France. So in terms of risk mitigation, this is great. And then there's another factor which is probably more recent, but I think being global helps you today supporting clients across the globe. And we are in tech. Clients are looking for talent, especially where there is shortage. So you need to be able to find talent where it is, really. And the second aspect, which is more recent, is that companies are also looking at being sensible with cost, as you would all experience. And being international helps you develop strategies where maybe you can bring talent at a local rate to, I don't know, a good example is we bring Canadian talents to American clients. And the client is happy with the rate. The Canadians are happy because we can pay a bit more than them working on a Canadian project, and we're happy with our margin. So everyone's happy and starting with customers. So I think being global helps with dealing with delivery and finding talent, but also meeting client expectations when it comes to cost, and having hybrid models where maybe you have a few people on site in headquarters, because we do a lot of enterprise solutions. So a lot of people would be consultant, customer facing. These people can be in headquarters in London, Paris, Barcelona, but you have a lot of people working remotely nowadays, and you can make it more cost effective to customers.
One of the things that we talk a lot about at TRN, and you would have heard this at the retreat, we were talking about it at the retreats, is about the how do you maximize customer lifetime value? So how do you get sticky with customers? How do you penetrate wider and deeper with your customer base? How many, I suppose there's two questions here really. How many of your customers do you work across multiple geographical footprints, number one? So is that part of the strategy, is to basically go and get a customer in Barcelona and then land and expand in other geographical situation where they've got other geographical locations? And then secondly, what is your strategy? How do you go about, do you have a team that's dedicated to like national or global or international accounts? How does that sort of work?
So we have, so first, the percentage of clients that we work with in multiple countries today is around a third.
Okay.
So by multiple country, any client we do business with in 2 countries would go in that category, of course. We have more and more clients that we work with internationally, but it's only a third. Why? Because we also have a lot of local clients who are not established globally. So in tech, obviously all the SI system integrators are international, they're global. So usually it's not difficult if you work with Accenture, as an example, in one country, to work with them in others. It's quite natural. It's you win trust or credibility in one country, and then you expand. The way we do it is first by, I think our strategy has always been for years now to focus on proving something to a customer where we are. So if we start, let's take the example of Accenture. If we start our journey with Accenture in France, we will do our best. If we feel that Accenture is a good fit for MA, we will do our best to impress Accenture. And once we've done that, it's a lot easier to get referrals and to be introduced to people in other countries. So this is how we develop some of our biggest clients.
Part of your service offering, and we're going to touch on this today, is like, obviously you do contract and perm and a few other bits as well, but part of in there is consultancy as well. And as we've discussed before, that consultancy piece I think is becoming more and more prevalent in the recruitment sector. So more recruitment companies going from a sort of a recruitment agency to more of a talent consultancy. And I don't want to overflower it and overegg it, but there's definitely a big element of that. How much time do you spend as a business working with your customers in one geographical location at their headquarters and saying, actually, let us advise you on where to go next? As in, I don't think you should go to Brazil. I think you'd be far better off going into X type thing. Is that part of the strategy moving forward from a consultancy point of view?
It is definitely. I think that all clients, being the vendors we mentioned, SIs or end clients, one thing they need from us is that knowledge and expertise on talent. So it's the ability to help them make decisions. Do we do enough of it? I'll be honest, no. I think that initially we started with our top tier clients, and it's often because we have taken the relationship to a high level of partnership. So they tell us what they need quite openly. They know that they can tell us anything. They know that we'll do anything we can to help them, within reason, of course. So it started this way, but now we are more proactively, introducing this in quarterly reviews or annual reviews with customers. So depending on revenue, we do quarterly or annual reviews with customers, and we make sure that advisory piece is part of the questions we ask.
Right. Okay, fine. And then obviously what we're talking about there in particular is around taking a customer and going wide with the customer around the world. There's also that piece about going deep as well with different specialties as well. So just talk us through that strategy, because if you can penetrate a customer geographically wide, but also penetrate deeply as well by placing lots of different types of products, but these types of skill sets, do you almost like have a matrix within your business where you sort of on the wall, you're mapping out customers and going, how wide are we and how deep are we with each of these different customers?
200%. So if you look at our business, there's, I would say, we look at it as a three-dimensional matrix. So we have our territories. Yeah. So in our case, Benelux, DACH, France, Italy, Spain, and more recently, America. So that's our territories. Then we have our verticals, because we do tech, but we've broken it down into specific verticals where every recruiter in the company is specialized in one of our verticals. So we mentioned a couple, SAP, Salesforce for enterprise software, but we also do cybersecurity. And then the third dimension is that service offering. So contract, perm. We do a bit of workforce management where we onboard contractors that we haven't sourced ourselves at a lower rate for customers. We do executive search. So you have these three dimensions, really: geographies, verticals, tech verticals, and offering. And if you think about it, if you're good at visualizing in 3D, you have a cube made of smaller cubes. Yeah. And the strategy of the company is always, okay, have we maximized that mini cube or not?
Yep.
Before we go elsewhere. Next is, in that country or vertical, is there a chance to move to the next cube? Is that the right one to take? And we try and make as much as we can data-led decisions, but it's also based on people. The structure today of the business is by geographies, because at one point we grew big enough to have a leader for each of our key territories. And we also trust them to drive a local strategy, to know their customers, and to tell us where the next mini cube is as far as they're concerned. So that's the way we grow the business today.
If you were to look back at everything that you've done, all the good stuff, the mistakes that you've made, and just about everywhere in between, and I won't ask you to name all the mistakes necessarily, but what would be the sort of the key lessons that you would pass on to anyone listening to this today who's looking at taking their recruitment company, however big they are, whether it's a one-person business or they've got 100 consultants, and really trying to globalize and scale up globally? What would be your advice to them, other than obviously being part of the Recruitment Network, which I'd love you to tell us all about as well?
Number one, be part of the Recruitment Network.
Very good. We got that recorded.
And number two, maybe. I think, first you need to think, if you haven't grown internationally yet and you're thinking about it, I think you need to think of the place. You need to think about the people, you need to think about the product, and you need to think of the client.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest mistake, and I'll name one, the biggest mistake that we've probably made was intuitively, we thought we cannot hire German speakers in London. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
They ask, the only German speakers we find in London are expats working for big banks. They will never work in recruitment unless we offer basics that start with 6-digit figures. So we thought, let's go to Germany. The only place where you can find German recruiters is Germany. And we went to Germany and we did. So going back to what I was saying, we did new person, so people. We hired someone to do that because we had no one internally. So new person. We thought we were clever and we brought that person to London for 6 months. And that person had accepted to be in London for 6 months to understand the company, the way we operate, processes and everything. That person had made a bit of a lie in the sense that the role we were offering to that person was probably a big upgrade compared to what this person had done. She was more like candidate focused, and the role was clients, candidates, and you're the brand, so you need to attract people and grow operations. And we did that in Frankfurt because the person was based in Frankfurt, and that person convinced us to go for a product we didn't have at the time. So at the time in Germany, the only thing we had done was to do, I mentioned Accenture, so there's no trade secret there. We were servicing Accenture in Germany, contract only. And that person said there's a massive opportunity to do perm. So we did, in a way, new product, because although we were in SAP, we were doing contract, but you're doing a new product, which is perm, with someone who's new to your business in a new place. It didn't work out at all. Yeah.
It's the wrong cube. That's the wrong cube, I think.
Absolutely. And then again, looking, referring to place, people, product, clients. So this was a failure. If I give you a success story, more recently, we developed operations in America, and the way it happened was a succession of 2 events. One, during COVID, one of our best recruiters, who was doing recruitment on the German market for us, billing more than 500k euros a year, asked if he could go back to Mum during COVID. And he was with us in Barcelona. The lockdown was quite strict in Barcelona, and he was really good. And our decision was, if we don't do it, we're going to lose him. Sure. And he's one of the best people we have. And during COVID, he was probably one of the hardest working people we had in the business. So we accepted, and in return, for 1 year, this chap was doing Germany from Canada, waking up at 2 a.m. In the background, one of our best customers in Europe, was acquired by Salesforce. And that gave us the opportunity to give to this person the role of or the challenge, if you like, of developing our relationship and our revenue with Salesforce in America, which he did brilliantly. So we knew him. We didn't go for a new product because he was a Salesforce. He happened to be a Salesforce specialist. So we stayed on Salesforce, and the only thing that was new was the place. Now we're doing it in America. And that was a massive success. We only started, so he moved, Maurizio moved in 2020, I believe. He did Germany until almost 22. Let's say that he started working Salesforce in 22. And fast forward 3 years, America represents soon 20% of the NFI of the company.
Really, really appreciate it, David. Thanks for your insights. Thanks for your time. And thank you everyone listening in. And we look forward to catching up very soon. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Take care. Thanks, David.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the TRN podcast. Thank you for listening. And make sure you grab the free episode toolkit. All the links are in the description. And click follow in your podcast app so you can get notified of our next episode. If you want to get more out of your business and your people, then please unlock 30 days from our platform, TRM World, for free. And help yourself to all our training content, our guides, our templates, and peer insights. You can get started at trmworld.com/trial. And finally, if you found this episode of the TRM podcast of use, please share it with your network and tag TRN on any socials with your takeaways. Otherwise, message us directly if we can help in any way. We do reply to every question. Otherwise, we'll see you next week on the next TRM podcast.